I think you are FOMOing when you're not clear about what you want. It starts, like you said, internally, that you don't know what you want. The day you know what you want and you ride or drive the thing that makes it happen, there's no FOMO. There's never going to be any confusion. Like the Busa for me, I bought the Busa right before it was getting discontinued. Everybody was like, why not wait for the third gen? Why not wait for the third gen? And I had no hesitation in that at all because I knew what I wanted was here. I did not care. The only thing that I thought about back then was, would the new gen be lighter? I said, how could that be possible without going down in displacement where everything about the bike changes?
Correct.
So that it then becomes a different character of motorcycle. Do I want a different character of motorcycle? No, I don't. I love this character.
Yeah.
It didn't matter to me that the next one, and actually I bought it because of its simplicity. I was clear that I didn't want the electronics and all of that. So for me, it was absolutely clear that this is what I want and I'm not going to miss out on the next gen. And when the next gen came, agreed, I enjoyed riding it. It felt more connected and all of that. But did I feel like I had made a mistake? That I had missed out? Not at all.
Yeah. And
not at all.
In the evolution of how we live, everything is hopefully going to get better at some rate or the other. Right? If you look at the Moore's law end of the scale, then things get better every 16 seconds. And if you look at how physical things work in this world, things get better very slowly. A lot of people still complain about bad roads, and it's not an unjustified complaint. But where were the roads like this 20 years ago? They didn't exist. We are in a far better state. But we are aware that there is an even better state than this which we are moving towards. And there'll be a critical threshold in the middle where suddenly making every car so beefy in terms of suspension will just not be needed because the fundamental roads have gotten better. In one of the previous MotorInc first or podcast, we already talked about how manufacturers are slowly taking spare wheels away, which is a sign of confidence that the roads are getting better and you're having fewer issues with your tires. The spare wheels no longer needed. We are going to get better. Yeah. If you get paralyzed by the cycle of if I wait, I'll get something better tomorrow, you remember you're just getting older and older and older and not jumping in.
I've got a counter to this, okay? Yes, things get better. But somehow they always stay the same also. I keep feeling that all the time. So like, I always think about, like when we grew up, we were in Khopoli. And from Khopoli to Mumbai, I used to take whatever, 2 something hours or something like that. And every drive was an adventure because of punctures, this, that, whatever. Similarly, the drive up to Lonavala used to be an adventure because you never knew what used to happen in the ghats.
Sure.
So your overall journey from Mumbai to Pune back then was also about 3.5, 4 hours.
And some uncertainty was always there in the background. Yeah.
And you always thought, man, if you had one cool car and you'd travel so fast and you'd be able to do that distance in 1.5 hours or something ridiculous like that. And today with the expressway and everything in place, has it become easier? Yes, it's become easier. But has my travel time gone down to 1.5 hours or 2 hours?
Yeah.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Because I may travel that interim distance quicker and more easily, but getting in and out of the cities at both ends is now the new challenge. So while the machine that I drive today is much better, my traveling comfort is better, but some of the gains that you're expecting which will transform your life massively, they don't always come. Like with everything that we've done with technology, making our lives easier, better, processes becoming quicker. You don't have to go to a bank anymore. You don't have to go to the government office at the drop of a hat. You're not standing in queues all the time. But we are busier than we ever were before.
Yeah, and which is why I said, there will always be a crisis. And the reason for the crisis is how we are. We are not satisfied with who we are. And it's not you and me and him. It's a civilization thing. We are just not going to ever be happy. The point is that we will always create a crisis for ourselves. And it is from our...
Oh, that's a very good point. That's a brilliant point.
Yeah, it is a drive to do something more comfortable, more easy, better, luxurious, blah, blah, blah. We always have a goal we are moving towards. So we will always create a crisis for that. Right? Think about it like this. I have 3 motorcycles. I am so fortunate. I've worked for it. It's not just pure luck, but okay, I'm very fortunate. I have 3 motorcycles. I have one thing that I use exclusively for the track. I haven't had the money to tune it for the racetrack, but that would be the next thing I would spend money on. Not a new motorcycle, getting that motorcycle to work at the racetrack. I have 2 very, very different options to commute with and tour with also. So in theory, I should be okay. I'm in a great place. No, my garage number is +1.
Right.
In the back of my head is this thing saying, I need to get another bike. Do I have the money for it? No. Do I have a logical place in my garage for it? No. Do I have an active need that says, yes, that is what that bike will do? If I were younger, a dirt bike would immediately be a natural thing to do. I am not young enough to do that on a regular basis without risking the fact that I can have such severe injuries that I'll never ride a motorcycle again. I don't know how I want to play this, and I'm severely conflicted on this.
Okay.
Right? But in my heart, I still want one more motorcycle. And that's my current crisis.
Mm.
Is it a life-threatening crisis or something that keeps me awake at night? No. But in the back of my head, there's no bike loan right now. It's always there. Right? I've been eating really healthy over the last 2 years or whatever, right? So that need for pizza is there. There'll always be a crisis. And the severity of the crisis is completely up to you.
Hello. Did we catch you while you were doom scrolling? Well, let's make this better. Use your time by heading over to MotorInc, the main channel, and you'll find this conversation in its fuller, more detailed version, which might be a better way to spend your time right now.